So, I'm a gamer. And I think that perhaps most of us in this room are actually playing a video game right now. But I want to ask you all a question. I'm looking at you, parents. Yes, especially you. If you play video games so much, even on your phone, why do you objectify them so much? Why, as adults who were living in the 80s and 90s, who live with video games, want to objectify our kids from doing the same things that we did in the past? Why are we like this? And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to prove that video games aren't just for fun. And with the cons that I have in my hand and this slide, I'm going to show you a few couple tips that I found online and through my own personal experiences. First up, you might want to realize, you may get familiar with these games, but I think you must know, you probably know what they are. And yes, I put two games from one series into one slide. In our gamer language, we call these games bullet hell games. They are specific games where enemies will come spawn randomly at you and shoot many things at you at a high velocity and comes in many. Your job is to avoid these bullets and avoid these bullets and shoot down your enemy. So what do these have benefits in our lives? Well, first of all, it boosts flexibility in our hands because these games require a lot of movement on our keyboard, especially with an arrow keys or WASD. Or it gives you a better reaction on things because these games usually need a quick speed in reaction to avoid these bullets because they come in many. And finally, it boosts your speed when you take things seriously. Sorry. And now, you parents are always talking about how video games are just sitting around in one seat and then doing nothing all day. And none of us can be involved. Well, let me introduce you to a familiar console, the Wii. This is the Wii, this is the Wiimote, and this is a very popular game on the Wii called Wii Sports. The Wii does not use a controller which requires sitting around all day. It uses a specific controller called the Wiimote. Now this Wiimote, it doesn't involve sitting around. It actually involves motion control, which is actually moving around on your screen, moving around in real life. And this game, Wii Sports, this is where it comes in. Wii Sports is a multiplayer game or local family game where families of 2 to 4 players can get involved and play a large variety of sports just from inside the games without having to go outside. So the benefits of this is your parents can't complain that you're just sitting around in one place doing nothing all day. This will actually convince them that you don't need to go outside to do something. You can actually just stay inside and play this game while getting fit.
Getting fit?
These are the people who play Wii Sports all day. These are friends, and this is family. It increases family bond. It increases family bond and stronger relationships. That's one benefit. That's the benefit. Now my next idea, and this is the Wiimote. Now my next idea is that nowadays most gamers don't realize their potential in the gaming industry. specifically the. No, I'm sorry. Now we have choice, and there are also choice-making games like Detroit, Become Human, and Until Dawn, and Undertale. These games all in common are called choice-making games, where everything is assigned by choice. This choice here is where you take part. You are the storyteller. You decide the story, how it goes in and out. How will you give the perfect ending to the game? Although it still does involve action, it mostly involves choice. This, in real life, can help benefit how we choose situations in our game, how we deal with it, and how are we going to move on using it. And now, as I said before in my previous mistake, gamers have found a lot of opportunities for themselves in the gaming industries, or most specifically, gaming as a career path. Let's take one of this, for example. As you can see, this is a screenshot from a very magnificent game called Final Fantasy XV. This game is famous, even besides from its RPG mechanics and gameplay, this game is famous for its beauty. That's because the graphics here will make you think that it's real life you're playing. You are the character, and this will make you feel like you're in a real life scenery. This can inspire them to become a graphic designer or a game programmer for themselves. Or, let's take a look at this. This is Journey, the original soundtrack for the game. This game is well known for its incredibly stunning music. This can inspire these kids to get a career in their lives as an OS original soundtrack designer, like being a guitarist or a piano or whatever they can become. That's the one route. Or there's another route which they can go through, which is playing video games, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Most parents say, there's one thing that parents say when it comes to video games. You can't make money while playing video games. Well, I want you to look at this man. This man, you may know who he is. You may all know who he is. And yes, please go subscribe to him if you can. Well, but for those who don't know, his name is Felix Gilbert, who goes by his online alias, PewDiePie. Now, PewDiePie here is a gamer, a very popular gamer on the social media platform YouTube. YouTube is where you can share all of your videos online, and PewDiePie here has currently the most subscribers on the channel, on the website, for his intensely stunning videos and very highly respected game walkthrough and gameplay. People have been looking up to him as a gamer, and now currently he's the most subscribed channel on YouTube from just playing video games. And every day he makes just millions of dollars from doing that. Or let's take a look at this man as another example. You may all know who this man is. His name is Tyler Clemens, or who goes on this by his online bias, Ninja. Ninja is an online streamer who plays Fortnite or Battle Royale shooter games on this channel on the website Twitch. Twitch is the live streaming platform where you can stream yourself play video games. And Ninja here has millions of followers. In fact, he is the most popular subscribed channel on Twitch, with currently 10 million followers in the game. The reason why he got so popular, because when he was playing a game called Fortnite, and he actually invited famous stars like like Drake and I can't remember his name, but it just goes by Juju, and Travis Scott to invite him in a game of Fortnite with him. And this caught the attention of many gamers and Twitch users, and it inspired him to play Fortnite, to go on Twitch, to live stream himself playing video games, and thus earning a lot of money. And again, he's a millionaire from just playing video games, earning $500,000 from one gameplay. Or let's look at this, for example. No. And this is, you may all know what this is. There are tons of these, like Evo and the World Championship, and E-League. Well, all in common, these are called esports. Esports is an online tournament that takes place in a big stadium and invites a large crowd to see people or teams playing video games. And the prize pool is usually millions of dollars. A very example of this is what I said before, the World Championship of League of Legends. This is by far, the second most popular esports tournament in the world, currently losing to FIFA. So, what do we benefit from all of these points? Well, I think other than earning tons of money, it could actually teach you about teamwork, about how it actually benefits you in real life. And it practices your skill in playing video games, and it can also use as an excuse to have your parents say that you are playing video games. And it could earn you a lot of money, and you're playing for the world and for your nation. Thank you. And remember to subscribe to PewDiePie. Now, any questions?
Okay, thank you, Hải Minh.
I have nothing to say to you because you did a really awesome speech. So, it's just I don't know what to say.
Okay, thank you, Hải Minh. I really admire your knowledge of video games. Alright. So, one personal question: have you experienced all of the games you mentioned in your presentation?
Yes, I have, and that is why I put them on this slide.
Okay. So, how do people know that games do not influence them negatively? How do people know that games don't influence them negatively?
It's because how they control themselves when playing video games. They don't have to play. They don't have to even play it for like eternity. They can control their time limit in playing video games once a day while going outside and spending time with my family. A very perfect example is myself. When it comes to video games, my mom and dad manage my gaming habits very strictly. But they never recommend me playing video games, but they would often let me play an hour or 30 minutes or two. And I must finish my gaming habit in that period of time.
Okay. And one more question. So are there any types of people who are not advised to play games?
Types of people?
Yeah. What kinds of people are not advised to play games?
There is no restrictions to playing video games, but to me, to answer your question, I would think extroverts, because extroverts usually spend a lot of time outside, and while introverts are more specifically to stay indoors. Think of introversion and extroversion as a battery. You are a battery, and you recharge, and as an extrovert, you recharge yourself by staying outside with your friends. And as an introvert, you recharge inside by doing things that you love indoors. So I advise that extroverts should not play these games, and I think that introverts are more good at gaming. But I don't restrict extroverts from playing video games.
Okay, thank you, Vin. Thank you.
Okay, I've got one question for you. Okay, I've got to first say well done. I think you presented very well. As you said, I think you're very factual in your approach of your presentation. And you also have a great accent, so a great pronunciation of your words, so well done. I have a question for you. Specifically, you did talk about parents, because that's very important. I think parents control a lot of the times how much the children can play video games. So what can you say to your parents to help them value your video game playing more?
Well, I think that my mom and dad, every time they see me playing a video game, think of me as having a break. Because every time they're gone, I was actually working my butt off to do my homework, and I was stressed. So video games was actually, and since I'm an introvert, video games is what kept me alive, was what kept me de-stressed myself. Even though, and I mainly play bullet hell games, and I am a calm gamer, so I don't really rage that much. So I don't really build up a lot of stress in my life. But whenever my mom and dad come to see me playing video games after they get home, they just don't complain. I'm taking a break.
Okay, good job, thank you.